What's up, my pal? It's Angryponcho here. Welcome back to Ocarina of Time Out of Order. In this episode, we're taking on the Water Temple. Continuing our reverse dungeon order designs. So right now, I'm going in and out of the grotto just outside of Lake Hylia, and we're going fishing. We don't actually need 2 fish. I'm just getting a backup fish in case I lose my first fish. And I have a few things I would love to show you guys in this episode. We'll see if I can pull them all off. Water Temple, somehow even in this ridiculously backwards, upside down run, the Water Temple is still the one temple that gives me the most freaking headaches. It was such a puzzle just trying to figure out not only what was possible in this temple, but what was reasonable for me to learn how to do. So, kind of annoying, to be quite honest. So there's a few different ways that I can go about this area. There's just so much that I want to show you guys. But first, we're going to go in here to the Lakeside Lab and just chill for a bit, because we need Navi to pop up and talk to us. I restarted the console, and she's been popping up trying to tell me information ever since, so I'm just going to stand here and wait for her to show up, because we are going to try and do a Navi dive. So while we're waiting, let me tell you about my plans. In this episode, we're going to beat the Water Temple without the blue tunic, the iron boots, or the long shot. Some of those you don't necessarily need in the vanilla, and some of those you absolutely need unless you can do certain glitches. So it was a bit of a puzzle figuring out what I could and could not go without. We're actually going to still have to get 2 of the small keys, but we won't actually have to get the long shot or use the iron boots. And the blue tunic is pretty optional anyway. If you have enough hearts, you can breathe underwater for like a minute, which is, I think it's enough time to beat the temple, a minute at a time underwater. You could do that just in the casual intended strats. So, all right, I waited for like 20 minutes and Navi just doesn't like me anymore, so I'm going to show you the other way we do this. So, we already did the Navi dive in a previous episode, where we got to the bottom of the well. Let me show you how to do a fish dive. So first off, this is a trick that uses the hover boots. What we want to do is drop a fish pretty close to the edge of whatever water it is that we want it to fall through. Go ahead and drop the fish right near the edge. Face back. Walk backwards and catch the fish. And we're basically catching the fish while we're on the hover boot. Which as soon as that ends, we fall. But as long as we're in this text box, we don't clip into the water, so... or we don't start swimming. So we can just stay down here as long as we want. And those bubbles are Link's life slowly fading away. As soon as I let go, it's gonna make a happy noise, because the guy running the lab is excited that we dove so deep. Nobody tell him. So in theory, if you do that right, you even get to keep the fish, so it's pretty repeatable. Hello there, sir. Sir or madam, may I speak to you?
You may not have noticed, but I've been watching you. I'll give you this heart piece if you let me touch the bottom.
Sorry, what? Okay, so let me show you something else I figured out, which is kind of weird. So right now we have the hook shot, as it is kind of required to do most of the stuff as an adult. In particular, I couldn't find a way to beat the Spirit Temple without it. There's nothing I could do. But if we come down here to the Water Temple entrance, we will quickly run into a slight issue. We are supposed to use the hook shot to pull that... Whoop, can't even show it right. To pull that blue thing out of the wall right there. And the intention is that you'll just put on the iron boots, sink to the bottom, and just hookshot it from right in front of it. Just so freaking easy. Fuck you, Navi! I waited for you for so long! Anyway. If we come over here, there is a tiny little sliver of land, and I'm telling you, it is so precise where you have to get to in order to get this to work, but there is a way to snatch this thing up from out of sight. It is tricky. You basically want to be as close as possible to the other side and walk as far to the left as you can without walking off. And this is going to take a minute, so I'm just going to cut ahead to when I get it, because it's very fiddly. There are setups for it, but it's not useful enough for me to have bothered to have learned the setup. So I didn't. Oh, also, Link's idle animation affects where the hookshot goes. So if you watch here, I'm not moving the thumbstick at all. But sometimes it's going to hit, and sometimes it's going to go past. So if you feel like you've got it lined up, but you're hitting the wall, just try a few times. It might be that the idle animation gives you enough clearance to just go for it. You can just barely see the tip of the blue thing poking out right there. I don't know if this is going to be a good enough angle to get it. The underwater chicken always makes me laugh. It's just so dumb. Such a goofy sound effect. The wolf gets me too. Cracks me up. Yes! It's very precise. You can see I'm just standing in like exactly the right spot up here. By the way, Link will keep walking basically right until his ears get wet. As soon as his ears go under, he'll start to swim. So there it is. We got it open. The one bad thing about this is that it doesn't actually do anything. I just wanted to show this because I think it's funny. But with the silver scale, we can't actually dive deep enough to get in here. It's so close, but you can't quite make it. So, short of doing some other kind of like hover dive from down up there, or getting the gold scale, which is not possible because, well, it is possible, but it would be a big pain in the ass because the fishing pond is up there, and with the lake empty, it's kind of hard to get to it. So, considering both of those options seem kind of difficult, pretty much anything, I have an easier way. I say that fishing is impossible, not impossible, but very inconvenient, because pretty much anything that's too high, you can get to with hovering. But hovering is so hard. Like, I tried to learn hovering for this video, and I gave up. And I've learned several other tricks throughout this speed run, but hovering was like, nope, too much. It's like all the setup of a super slide with much stricter timing, and then it also has limited uses of like where you can do it if you aren't doing some really crazy glitchy stuff. Alright, so we have 20 bombs, we have full magic. Alright, so it's time to go to the water temple. So a lot of people don't know this, but the water temple actually has a secret entrance. People know about that front one there, but whoa! Yeah, I hear the bird. The water temple actually has a second secret entrance inside this house. So check this out. So because the walls of this house like tilt outwards like this, if you walk up close to it, Link's head just clips right in. And once you get too close, you'll kind of get like pushed back out. But if you get quite close to the point where like most of Link's head is inside the wall, the game kind of loses track of what it should be doing, and forgets that the wall is, you know, a wall, and it actually just lets you jump right through. We can do a backflip to do it. You know you're far enough in when like Link's head is like partially disappeared. It is a little finicky because you want to get a nice straight shot right into the corner. So like exactly like straight onto the point. I guess like 45 degrees off of either wall. And then once you're far enough in, if you go just a tiny bit too far, you'll get bumped back out like that. Yeah, so it's a little finicky because it's a little bit annoying. One of those... It's like playing Operation, honestly, that's what it feels like. You get so close, and then a fucking Gwei shows up and messes up your angle for the backflip. God damn it. In theory, if you get good at this, it should be very quick to do, but I'd like to reiterate, I'm not very good at the glitches in this game. So anything that you have seen me accomplish is something that you could absolutely try to do yourself, and you probably can get it. Like, I am not an Ocarina of Time speedrunner. This game is just so many extremely deep, complicated glitches that the ones I'm showing off are the lowest hanging fruit, the easiest to do, the easiest to learn, and the least frustrating to try over and over on an actual console. Because this whole Let's Play is done on an actual console, I have to reiterate that. I'm not memeing either, it really is. Voila! And with that, we've now hopped inside the house, which looks a little weird from the inside, but if we go over here, there's a hole in the ground. It's actually a hole in the map. And if we fall down, we don't void out like we normally would. Because this is Lake Hylia, there's water here underneath the map. It's actually the same water that is visible in the middle of the map, it just extends out in all directions underneath the map as well, rather than them bothering to cordon it off. I mean, we fall out of bounds, instead of voiding out, we land in it. And now we can just swim out of bounds all the way around to where the water temple entrance is. And it's a little bit weird because when you're this far away from the camera, it feels like Link takes a long time to get anywhere. I'm mostly looking at the mini-map in the bottom right, which is a little funny because the more twisted up your angles and stuff get, the harder it is to actually tell where the heck Link is. But if we swim around back there, there is a loading zone for the water temple there, and we can hit it. Pretty cool. Alright, so, now that we're in here. Oh, the places we'll go. So, we do actually want to start by getting... Okay, so let me just, before I get sidetracked by actually going through this area, let me show you what is possible, or tell you what is possible. We could hover over there, go in that door, and then do a hover to skip the boss key door, and go fight Morpha right now. We don't need the long shot for that. We don't need anything for that, really. But although the hover over there, or the hover slide over there, we will do. But the hover through the boss door is so annoying, and I killed the spider. I'm an idiot. It's so annoying and so difficult that I'm just not gonna do it. Alright, so instead, we're gonna do a little bit of intended strats and then very quickly deviate from that. So I'm gonna take off the hover boots and I'm gonna equip a spell. I'm gonna do for Rory's Wind because we want to cast that anyway. And if we come stand right on the edge over here and cast a spell, oh, it might take 2 tries. That's okay. We can use Din's Fire as well. just fucking belly flopping it, face first, arms by his sides. Oh, it gave me the hiccups. Let's try again. There we go. If the spider is kind, he will push us straight off, and we can swim into this area down here without using the iron boots. It's called a spell dive. Whoa. Oh, you, if I'm right, killed? You're killed, aren't you? Have we met? It's me, your fiancé, Ruto, Princess of the Zoras. What the fuck did they do to my body while I was in stasis for 7 years? And Link's just swimming in the fucking ceiling like, I'm running out of air. I never forgot the vows we made to each other 7 years ago. This what kind of shit would happen to you all the time if you were a time traveler. Like, Link's traveled through time, and people are telling him about stuff that he hasn't done yet, because it was the past for them, but it's the future for him. You're a terrible man to have kept me waiting for these 7 long years. Oh, no. Now's not the time to talk about love. Yeah, I don't think we've actually met yet in my timeline, so, this is kind of awkward. In any case, she then tells us that she's gonna save the world again, I guess. The woman who's gonna be your wife. I mean, do you have a ring? It's not like we exchanged an engagement ring or something. There are 3 places you can change the water level. Yeah, hopefully we won't have to use any of them except one. So, I've already decided that the boss key skip is too hard for me. So that means we need to get the boss key so we can go fight Morpha. As I stated, we're not getting the long shot, so we don't need to head that way. So what does it take to get the boss key? Well, it takes 2 of the 6 water temple keys. And so hopefully we can get 2 of those in short order right here and then go straight to grab the boss key. Alright, so first thing... Whoops. We'll go ahead and play the song here to lower the water level. We don't need to go into the room over there. I think it just has the dungeon map. It's not useful, that's for sure. Now, hopefully, I can do this side hop correctly, because what we want to do is land on that ledge down there. So the goal is to side hop and jump slash to get there. Ah, fucking hell. I think I jump slashed a little too soon. Didn't give myself enough space. Yeah, it's okay. It doesn't matter that we failed that. It actually gives me the opportunity to show a couple other things. In any case, let's go ahead and use Din's Fire to open these 2. Since we don't have the bow, we can't use the intended strat of shooting the arrow through the torch. And I'm going to save, because I had this room crash on me while I was practicing. These guys apparently generate a lot of collision. And would you stop, please? I came in here and did a spin in place, a quick spin, and it killed one of the clams, and the other 2 were like half closed, and the game just froze. Like, I don't know what to do with this. Alright, well, now we need to get back up there, and we're going to need a little help. We're going to need to raise the water level. So, it's a little tricky. First thing, we did set for Rory's Wind, so we can return to the warp point, which is back up top. It's actually at the whatever room you cast it in, the warp point ends up at the door you entered. So even though we actually cast the spell over there, it still puts the warp point back at the entrance of the dungeon. Alright, so now that we're back up here, we're going to go ahead and put the warp point back, because I think we'll use it one more time. So cool to actually use Ferrari's Wind. Like, it's just one of those items that I forget exists in a casual run, but we've used Ferrari's Wind and Nehru's Love now. Okay, so we can come around to the back door. And this is one, I believe, where you're also intended to use the bow and shoot through there, but nope. We're going to go ahead and just use Din's Fire again. That'll let us get access back here. And now we can play Matilda's Lullaby to raise the water level to the mid-level and go get that key from the ledge I failed to land on. So if I landed on that ledge, we wouldn't have to do any of this. We wouldn't actually have to change the water level at all anymore. But because I failed that little jump, we're going to have to change the water level 3 times. Because it's... this dungeon. Such a pain. It's just such a pain. Equipping and unequipping boots and raising and lowering the water. So many things. So it turns out we are actually not able to just swim down. At least I don't think so. I've never actually tried just diving here. Let me see if I can make it. I didn't think so. Maybe with the gold scale, but the silver scale is a no-go. So we could do a spell dive here if we wanted. Get out of here. But I'm just going to do another fish dive because it's a little more easy. It's a little easier to set up. We don't have to wait for the spider to do his thing. So I'll put the fish down. So we're going to equip hover boots, and we're going to back walk off the ledge by holding L, and immediately snatch the fish. And down we go. With that one, I would say if you're trying to do it, don't be afraid to grab the fish too early, because if you grab it too early, you can just try again. Whereas if you grab it too late and you fall, if it takes you too long to get back up, the fish will disappear, which is why I grabbed it back up. And also, it's just more annoying because you fall in the water and have to climb back out. Yeah, I'll use a bomb for this. I had to think for a second because we're going to use them later for a super slide. I wanted to make sure I had enough still. Alright, boom. Now we have 2 small keys. So in theory now, this is the same place where I don't think it's quite close enough to dive to. Yeah. So we could do another fish dive here. Or we could use the Ferrari's Wind warp point. Or we could save and reset. So really it's just up to us. We don't need magic for anything else here, so we're just going to return to the warp point. Then use Ferrari's Wind a 3rd time, believe it or not. All these times that we've been using Ferrari's Wind, we could also save and quit, and it would just put us back at the beginning of the dungeon. But that's a little lame in a video. I'd like to actually use this spell if I can. Alright, so the reason we came back up here is because we actually need to cycle the water level. And to get the water level to the bottom, which is where we need it, we have to do it in that room that's only accessed by going down to the very bottom and then swimming all the way to the top and playing the song in there. And in order to swim all the way to the top, we have to put the water level at the top. So in order to get the water level at the bottom, we have to first put it at the top. Thankfully, and this is kind of required because that door is locked, so we wouldn't be able to get there and do what we need to do later if we used a key. Thankfully, you can get to this platform, which is just right out here. All you have to do is get the hover boots, run, and don't bonk. Just so fucking stupid. This is the stupidest way to fail that. Literally just don't roll. Just don't roll. Just stop. Get some help. Alright, I think... I'm trying to remember where the water levels go. Yeah, we're going to want to use this one more time. It's fine, it's fine, it's fine. Just a little hay fever. Alright, so yeah, again, just run and aim for the left side, and you'll climb right up. If you hit the right side, the collision is a little wonky, and for some reason, Link will just grab the ledge repeatedly and go, and then fall. You can actually break out of that glitchy mode by hitting the sword at the right time, and you'll jump / up onto the ledge, but it's not consistent, and if you just aim for the left side, you'll grab it every time, so just make sure you're pushing straight against the, like, perpendicular to the ledge you want to grab, so that Link knows you want to grab it. I'm going to use another fish dive, so I don't need to... Sorry, guy. So, to make this work most consistently, you want to put the fish pretty near the edge. You don't want to go too close, or you'll drop him straight in. I find that if Link's feet are on either side of this line right here, he puts the fish close enough that it's pretty consistent. So, oh. There we go. You get a little bit of backwards momentum with the hover boots too, so you can even go a little early, and you'll actually still slide off and fall, even if you were technically still on ground when you grab the fish. At this point, you're probably thinking to yourself, geez, it'd be less work just to beat the temple. Yes, but that's not the point. Also, to beat the temple, we would have to go get the iron boots, and that requires doing the entire ice cavern, so make sure you put that in your calculations of which one will be faster. Also, remember, we wouldn't have had to change the water level at all if I hadn't fucked up this jump. Literally all of what we just did was so we could get that second key. So now I'll be making a second attempt at that jump to hopefully redeem myself. It doesn't matter anymore, but I have pride, damn it. I also don't have a setup for this, so that's probably why I failed it. Oh, okay, I jumped right over the hole. That was never going to work. Let's try like this! You like the combination of interesting glitches and terrible gameplay? That's what I bring to the table. Fuck! Okay, that time I overcompensated and swung too late. Whatever. Again, it's not required. Now we're headed to somewhere else. So if we come over here, we can go ahead and head towards where the boss key is. And you notice, when Link falls in the water like that, he actually dips down a substantial amount. So there's a lot of places where not only do you not need the iron boots, you also don't need to even dive. You can just jump in. Alright, so here, we're meant to use the long shot. This spiky thing here is meant to tell us, hey, you can't go over here until you have the long shot. But we don't let people tell us what to do anymore. So, instead, hover boots, and with a well-timed backflip, we can just hop around top of those spikes like they're not even there. No big deal. Boom. It's actually probably the easiest trick in this dungeon. Once again, if anyone ever asks you which boots are required to beat the water temple, the correct answer is hover boots, not iron boots. Alright, so now we'll let a rock come past over here. Do a little rolly run, and boom, look at that. It turns out they put those close enough that, yes, the iron boots, or the hover boots, will get you there. Right, this one's a little bit funky. Let me come up here. So we're going to do another example of those jumping in and falling far enough that Link actually goes deeper than he normally would. So if you look down there, there's a path that goes down and off to the right, and that's where the boss key is. If you try and dive there, you get pushed around by the current so much that it's a big pain. So instead, we're going to jump and try and swim down there. Just like this. It's just that easy. And here's the second key door. So we could either use these two keys to get the boss key or to get the long shot. But getting the boss key means that we don't have to do the boss key skip. And I don't actually know of anywhere where the long shot skips things, so maybe if we feel like it later, we can come back and do the ice cavern. Oh, I should use Ferrari's Wind. I don't need to go all the way through all this. Country roads, take me home. Alright. So, not having the long shot does make getting to the boss a little bit harder. Not that hard. It's a technique that we have all mastered by now, as I'm sure you've been following along while watching this series. We're just going to do a super slide. So, oh, get out of here, you. I'm just clearing the way just so I don't have to worry about these guys anymore. Heart. So, if we hover over there, it's too far to just run for it, and it's too far to just backwalk it. So, we gotta do ourselves another super slide. And hopefully I can impress everyone watching by getting this on the first attempt. Well, we'll see. Oh, the last step that makes this one a little bit harder than normal is that we also have to turn around and grab the ledge. So I'm going to let go of L pretty much immediately in the slide. And then as soon as we're hovering on the hover boots, I'm going to let go of the shield button and hold down. And Link will actually run towards the camera with the hover boots activating. And he'll turn around and grab the ledge. But the additional speed we'll have from the super slide is enough that he runs far enough. Alright. I need to put bombs on C down, because that's what I've gotten used to. Don't judge me. Okay, put on the boots. Oh yes. I have mastered the super slide. Thank you very much. We still have both our fish, so I'm not going to catch a fairy here. And we have full health, so we don't even need to free them from their bodily prison. Bodily prison. I'm not saying we should kill the fairies, although I think Link does eat them. Now we can try and do the Morpha quick kill. This should be fun. So I'm going to set up a jump slash. Just so that we have a really powerful power crouch stab set up. Morpha just being her usual goopy self. Just goopa-goopin'. Just like, Link's like, I'm not equipped for this. Seeing him in the water temple with the mirror shield, the gold gauntlets, and the hover boots is just so funny to me. Because we've just broken this game so thoroughly, and none of these glitches are really hard. So it's kind of impressive just how many crazy sequence breaks people have found in this game. Alright, so we are going to need to use the hook shot. We don't have the long shot, but the hook shot will do. I also don't want the hover boots anymore. Come on up here, Morpha. You gonna undulate towards me? Oh, I thought I was far enough away. That's on me, guys. Morpha, what are you doing? Oh, got her! Now I gotta try and dodge this tentacle when it comes down. Haha! We'll go ahead and pull Morpha all the way over into the corner here. And just bully her. Oh, it is so satisfying. That boss is such a pain in the ass, and one cycling her like that is just so vindicating. And ladies and gentlemen, that is the Water Temple, beaten with only 2 of the 6 keys. No Iron Boots, no Blue Tunic, and no Long Shot. The only sad thing about this is that we didn't get to fight Dark Link. But honestly, he's kind of a pain if you don't have a Megaton Hammer, so... Let's go... Where's my heart? Where's my heart container? Sir? Specifically requested one. And then we'll get the water medallion, and I don't know where we're going to go next. I don't know if there's a way we can break the ice cavern with the hover boots. If there is, we might, just because I really like that cutscene where we get the Serenade of Water. But at the same time, I also like not having any of the warp songs, because I think it's funny. In any case, you've seen this cutscene a million times, so I'm not going to make you watch it again. Thanks for watching, y'all, and I'll see you next time on Ocarina of Time Out of Order. Slurp.